In this video, we'll talk about receptive fingerspelling. So this is when you watch another person fingerspell to you and figure out what they said. You are reading the fingerspelling. So as you are receptively taking in the information for the fingerspelling, you're going to watch the other person fingerspell the word. So whenever you watch them fingerspell, you're not going to look down at their hand. You are going to look at their eyes, look at their face, technically, and you are going to, out of the corner of your eye, your peripheral vision, you're going to see what it is. So for me, right about here would be where I would see a person fingerspell. Okay, so I would look at their eyes, maintain eye contact, because maybe they're going to raise or lower their eyebrows for part of a question. Maybe they are going to use some other grammatical feature that is on their face, so you do need to be looking at their face to be able to see it. Also, breaking eye contact is considered rude. Maintaining eye contact is essential to have the conversation and to be able to catch everything. So you don't want to look down towards their eye, towards their hand. You want to continue to look at their face, at their eyes. If you have the habit already of looking immediately down to see what they're fingerspelling, really practice on breaking this habit. Focus on watching the person and seeing it out of the corner of your eye. Okay, I know their hand's right there, so I'm going to look at you, but I'm really trying to look over here. So really work on that. See if you can practice that. The next really important point that you need to know about receptive fingerspelling is that you need to sound it out. So scientists say that we can hold about 7 to 10 pieces of information, but it is harder for us to take that. So that's why whenever we say phone numbers, then we will use 808. So instead of saying 808 1 2 3 4 7 9 6 or whatever, however many, I lost count. Okay, so instead of a bunch of individual numbers or letters, pieces of information, we chunk them together. So you'll hear 512 or 741. You'll hear things like that. We chunk the information together. So the more that you can chunk the information together, the easier it will be for you to be able to catch all of the information and retain it. Because if you are watching someone fingerspell and they put out a longer word and you're seeing all of these letters and you're like, okay, this letter, this letter, this letter, this letter, this letter. By the time you get to the end, you're like, I said a bunch of letters, but I don't know what the word makes, okay? So I want you to really focus on as you see a word being spelled, rather than saying or naming each letter, I want you to practice by sounding it out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fingerspell a word for you. It is a longer word, so make sure you are not saying the letters or naming them. You are going to sound them out, okay? So first, let me give you an example. The word table, okay? So if I'm going to go, okay, so if you said T-A-B-L-E, you're correct, but you had 5 pieces of information to remember, okay? Especially if it was a harder word, or if you missed some of the letters, which is likely as well, or if the person didn't know how to spell it and maybe they misspelled it, that wouldn't help you very much as well. So now I want you to try it this way. Table. Okay, so sometimes we get to the T-A-B, okay, tab, okay, I got that, and then you get to the L and you're like, tab, and you're trying to sound it out and it sounds kind of silly, but once you blend it all together, then it really helps you a great deal. Okay, so I'm going to fingerspell a word now. I want you really to focus on sounding it out. Make sure you're sounding it out and keep going, okay? Eyes up here. Don't look at my hand. Okay, how did you do? Did you get that all sounded out? Let me give you one more chance to practice it in case you missed it. Again, still looking up here, still sounding it out, not saying the letters. Okay, what was the word? The word was pineapple. Pineapple. All right, there you go. So this also helps a lot whenever you miss letters. I've talked about in previous videos that by the shape of the letter, you're able to know what what kind of a letter could have fit in there, and then make an educated guess from there. So let's take the word pineapple, for example. Okay, so we start with the down letter, a P. Okay, then we have I, fifth letter, N, a fifth letter, E, a fifth letter, A, a fifth letter. Then we have two down letters, PP, and L is an up letter, and then an E is a fifth letter, okay? So I want you to think about it goes like this, or actually, let's see. We go down first, and then it would go up, pine, apple, okay? So you want to think of how it goes, the shape of it like that. So let's say that you caught P-I-N, and then something, and then A, and then something that are down, and then something up, and then you caught the E. So you could fill in some of those gaps with the size or shape of the letter that you saw, being pineapple. You can also base a lot of your finger spelling receptively on what the context is about. So if I'm talking about fruit, or if I'm talking about Hawaii, or I'm talking about something else like that, that pineapple would tie in, that would be perfect for you to be able to catch all of that. Sometimes it's a random word, or it doesn't fit in at all, and it makes it harder to guess, like the word pineapple. Have a good day. Bye.